after this Raymore and Flanagan commercial, I'll continue with that thought, I guess. Oh, and of course, another console that's gone to shit. An Xbox commercial. Back to TEMTEM.
Yo, it's the GrownKiD Talk Show. Yo, it's the GrownKiD Talk Show. Yo, GrownKiD Talk Show. Yo, it's the GrownKiD Talk Show.
Look at this. TEMTEM. If you've never heard of TEMTEM, it is the Pokemon killer. It is basically a cross between Digimon and Pokemon, more Pokemon, but in MMO format. You can battle real PvP online. The official trailer released 3 weeks ago, but it's been an alpha for a while, and early access is available. I'm not 100% sure on if it's going to be released for all consoles, maybe on the PlayStation 5, but I think we can look forward to this to next May. But I just wanted to bring TEMTEM to your attention. I'm a huge Pokemon fan, but I'm not a big Pokemon fan video game. Yes, I love old school RPGs with turn-based battle systems and everything, but I'm just not like the biggest Pokemon fan when it comes to video games. But this is something I'm really excited about. Finally able to battle other people in this kind of world. Creature collector is what they call them. There's a guy on YouTube called Team Voltsy. He did like multiple playthroughs of the game, or what they have parts of the game in their alpha. I suggest going to watch that. In fact, I'll cut to it here, because I do want to actually start incorporating a little bit more of like who I watch on YouTube and stuff. But there's the IGN trailer. It's this guy right here, Hero Voltsy. This was a year ago, so you can imagine. I think there's like 33 parts in one of these playlists that he's had, but it's really good. It's cool. I'm just so excited for this game, because this is the game we always should have gotten. And I was talking about Nintendo in previous videos, and I was saying that their franchises eventually will come to an end. I think they've been mishandling a lot of their franchises, except for Zelda with their newest Breath of the Wild. Really was the last game, and Mario Odyssey, that were like truly innovative to the franchises that they are. Why we've never gotten a Pokemon game on MMO in that format, or like on console, and I'm not talking about just a Nintendo Wii or a Switch. Really bring it to the fans who play video games and are on console. Obviously Pokemon Showdown, if you know what Pokemon Showdown is, I used to play it. If you want to get your battles in like that, go there. However, I think TEMTEM, with the character creation and the whole overall style of an MMO is just so exciting. I don't know why we never got it with Nintendo. I don't think they plan on doing it. I don't even remember the last rumor we got of an MMO. I thought that was supposed to come out right when the Switch launched. Maybe you release it to keep the Switch alive, because right now the Switch is just really getting tons and tons of games that have been out for a while or on other consoles. There's not many truly unique, Switch only games. There might be, a few coming up in 2020, but for right now, it seems that the convenience of the Switch actually might fade. If you don't know what the new LG dual screen phone is, it's basically a Nintendo DS. It's basically an old PSP. They're handheld devices, except with dual screens. Now you can run your game on a phone, on the top screen, and your buttons on the bottom, or you can play your game and check your phone messages. I think once that catches the dual screen cell phones, once that really pops and catches, I think the handheld market for video games will dip severely, especially since you could get a lot of titles on your phone. So I'm just not sure where the Switch's life and market is. It's cool because you could play now and coming in 2020 a lot more indie games and stuff, which I find fun. It's just the I want AAA titles, and the fact is, I don't have a Nintendo Switch, but a Nintendo Switch cannot run Death Stranding. You know, it won't be able to run Death Stranding at least for another couple of years. So it's that kind of drawback for me that has consistently stopped me from trying to go back to Nintendo. Plus, not giving me anything that I really want, like a Pokemon MMO. So TEMTEM is the Pokemon killer. Let me know if you've heard of TEMTEM, or is this your first time? Will you be getting the game? Do you like the idea? Here's your like starter I said Pokemon. Your TEMTEM. I'm gonna have to start getting used to that because Pokemon's not bringing in any new fans. People who keep Pokemon series alive are a lot people who are older. After this Ray Moore and Flanagan commercial, I'll continue with that thought, I guess. Oh, and of course, another console that's gone to shit. An Xbox commercial. Back to TEMTEM. This has an opportunity to grab young people as fans. This has an opportunity to go from video game that could be a big success to like an anime. And not for nothing, Pokemon is probably one of the worst animes ever created in terms of character development. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Ash. Yes, I do love Pokemon. I know this sounds like hate, but this is more like love that hasn't been cultivated and treated right by Nintendo. And now I have to turn to something else, and that something else is TEMTEM. PvP, PvE content. I'm just really excited. This is something for those longtime fans that have always wanted that. TEMTEM's our shot to experience that. And I'm pretty excited. So let me know if you are too. I know I've been away for a while. You know, this time of the year is always crazy. So we're gonna jump to a couple topics here, and we're gonna go right to the next one. All right, so I guess today's episode is gonna be about what I'm excited for. This is Granblue Fantasy Relink. It's basically an anime Monster Hunter is what I'm getting at. You see there's 4 characters here. Yes, those are other players. Multiplayer. I brought this up last time as well. Or maybe I didn't. The idea of mock MMOs. I think the mock MMO format, like Monster Hunter New World or whatever it was called, is doing, like the Death Stranding with the Dark Souls type of multiplayer. The limited MMO aspects, pulling from that genre and giving us co-op is more of a trend. The battle royales have been doing it for a while, and shooters have been doing it for a while. You queue up and you play with other people. To see this though, really shocked me. It came out of nowhere for me. The questions I have are: can I fully customize these characters? Are they set characters? All of it makes sense. Can I, change the way I look, or do I pick my move sets? Is it dependent on the weapon, or is it a little bit more structured? I don't mind a little bit more structure. However, though, in my head, I am picturing more of a Monster Hunter make your character type of thing. However, the structure for the sake of the story, because Monster Hunter World's story obviously wasn't its shining part of the game, which is really, really fascinating to think about, that not being a main draw of the game, yet the game being so good and being so successful. I think by possibly doing it like this, a lot faster, closed in, maybe characters that you can really feel for, and who knows, maybe you pick your main character at the start of the game and you don't change that main character. So this is your main character, and you team up with other people who've picked their main character for that game. I like the idea of not being able to switch my character. I know it sounds unappealing, but imagine when you go into your party and each of those characters has their own mainline story, like Octopath Traveler. Maybe I'm just fantasizing here. I didn't do too much research because it did catch me, totally off guard, just like TEMTEM did. So maybe that's where this episode lives. But I love this. I love the animation of it. I love the style of it. I'm a huge anime fan, manga fan. And they all have their own special moves. The potential for this is so high, and from what I'm seeing right now, it doesn't look like they're making mistakes. This is the other thing I've been missing: opening treasure chests. You do that in MMOs or RPGs. I do love that. I like having the idea of co-op that isn't just a shooter. And I'm glad to see that this is taking that chance there. Yes, it's going to be like a Monster Hunter. You are fighting dragons and stuff, but it is fantasy. So is Monster Hunter. It's hard to explain. I want to see more. I want to hear more. But I didn't do a deep dive into this. Obviously, someone's out there. Some video has explained it. This is the trailer I initially saw, and this is the trailer I wanted to show you. What do you think of this game? Granblue Fantasy Relink. I'm not too, ecstatic on the title. I know Granblue is a franchise. I don't know anything about that. But that's also the best part, is I get to go into a new fantasy. Yeah, I love Final Fantasy, but getting into a new one that has some kind of real story that isn't just go kill this monster, kind of tacked on. It's not a knock to Monster Hunter at all, but this has some real potential. So I'm really super excited about this. Let me know if you are too. We're gonna keep moving on here. I might actually switch gears here. I know we've been doing a lot of video games for the talk show, 11 episodes in. I wanted this to be a little bit more art focused and be a little bit more scattered, I guess. So that's what we're gonna keep doing. I'm just super excited for this and the potential. I'm definitely gonna do another video on this, as well as probably TEMTEM, because I'm super excited for these two. Came out of the blue. If you've been following, you already know the games I'm super excited for in 2020. Last of Us, Final Fantasy 7 Remake. These two really caught me off guard, and I really thought they were worth mentioning, just in case you out there haven't heard of them. Alright, so I want to give a huge shout out to my team, the Philadelphia Eagles, for making the playoffs. Also want to talk about a little bit of the sports and, a couple things I watch on YouTube with that whole sports world. I know many, gamers may not necessarily be into sports or whatever, but if you are new to sports, or, you want to get into sports, I watch Skip and Shannon on Undisputed FS1. I think the show's great. You can obviously go to their YouTube. I'm subscribed, got the notifications on, obviously. Skip's one of them older heads in the game, really started this whole debate format. And Shannon is obviously a Hall of Famer, a tight end, great in his own right. And, Skip kind of like handpicked Shannon to work with. And that says a lot about Shannon being up and able to the task to do this. By no means is the show new. It's been on for, I think, about 4 years now. But don't quote me on that. So, and it's just a staple in the sphere of sports talk. But shout out to the Eagles. It's always great because Skip is a Cowboys fan, and I love hearing him talk about how bad they are, because there is a rivalry there between the Eagles and the Cowboys. But I'm really excited. I didn't think we were going to get to this point, honestly. I really thought we were going to lose it all to Eli as the Giants on our must-win games for the past month. Wentz has been breaking another record, throwing to, I think it's like 4,000 yards to non-starting wide receivers. I don't know what the record he broke is, but I'm really happy for the guy. Look, I still need Wentz to do one more thing. I would have given Foles a lifelong pass to retire with the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't care if he's better or worse. I don't care. He won the game. I would have just got as much value as I could for Wentz and just built the team around Foles, and I could have been happy with that. Obviously, that's not why I'm an owner, and yes, obviously, I can tell Wentz is the better talent in terms of athleticism and skill that way, but it still remains to be seen, can he win? So I told myself before the season started, there were a few things I needed Wentz to show and prove to me. Not that I'm important at all, but I am a fan, and I did go to the parade, skipped class to go, me and a homie, took the train in, walked over the bridge. There's no bigger fan. Well, there are bigger fans than me, that I misspoke. But like I was saying, I wanted Wentz to play a full season. He's got that down, knock on wood. The other thing was I really needed him to win just one playoff game. And I think playing Seattle in the first round, I think we could win. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a test, but every playoff game is hard, you could say. I'm glad it's not Mahomes. So I really do think we can win this game, even with no talent besides Carson Wentz out there. That's not a knock to any of the guys. They are talented because they have made it to the NFL, and they have chips on their shoulders, so to speak. They're playing for something. So that's a motivator right there. The one big issue I always found with the Eagles as well was the fact that we can make these guys, your starters, your second options, but what happens when the team gets back to healthy, and now these guys who got major playing time see their playing time diminished, they go other places, sign other contracts, and then we're again left with the shuffle with the hopes that our starters are fully healed. Alshon Jeffrey's not getting any younger. I think Alshon Jeffrey is a perfect number 2 next to Deshaun when Deshaun is healthy, or they flip-flop. Really, Alshon's the 1, Deshaun be the 2, but they're up there in age. So we'll see. Arts is still the man out there, so I'm excited. I'm excited for the Eagles, and I haven't been feeling that excited for quite a while. I think the season still is a disappointment when you look at our record, and I'm not going to overpraise our success. I'm happy about it. The biggest success to me is seeing Wentz out there in a playoff game. I believe he can handle the pressure. I have faith in Wentz. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't believe in Wentz. It's just that I played sports for a long time, and when you're on a team, you always want to think that your play can either solidify your spot, or, like the people playing from the practice squad, earn yourself a spot. And I thought Foles kind of earned himself that starting spot insofar as it to mean from a team and players perspective. In that kind of environment, you feel like you earned something, and I think Foles did do that. If you look back, that Super Bowl team's basically gone. So it's time to reevaluate as the Eagles. We do a little bit too much, I feel like. Even though we are a good team, it's hard. I don't want to knock my Eagles. We just made the playoffs, so I'm excited. I'm just airing out some gripes because I haven't talked football on the channel. It's the first time. I'm going to continue here, though. The other thing I watch, and this is must-see TV, Skip and Shannon as well, but the NBA on TNT with Charles Barkley, Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal is must-see TV. If you don't know, Ernie's been on the air 30 years, Kenny about 20, Charles is up there in the 20s, I think, as well, and then Shaq is only like 16. Charles maybe 16, 17. Kenny might be at 20 something. They've been on TV for so long, and the show is so organic, and it's so funny. Even if you're not an NBA fan, I really suggest watching the NBA on TNT. I know it sounds corny to talk about, and no one needs me to tell what to watch or whatever, but I thought maybe there might be some of you out there who very much like anime and manga, but then can easily turn on the Lakers versus the Bucks and want to watch LeBron James, or want to watch the Eagles. I know you might be picking different team, Patriots, whatever your team is, and I don't want you to feel like, because I feel it sometimes too, that we can't talk about it or discuss it because we're not looking at the stat sheets all day, every day. That's not where that's not where my creativity lives, and because I just focus down one thing. Of course, we all focus down on one thing, or our passions or whatever, but I don't want this to be a space where something is off limits. I want the talk show and the channel itself to give off the vibe that what is that Assassin's Creed mantra? Everything is permissible, and nothing.
You mentioned the creed before. What is it?
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted.
Something allowed. I don't know. I forgot it, but that's kind of what I want to push here. So that was kind of my spiel for my congrats to my Eagles. I'm super excited for it. Can't wait to watch the game. And then the Sixers, Of course, I like the Sixers as well, but I'm really pulling for the Lakers. I would love to see the Lakers and Sixers in the finals. I mean, I don't see why it can't happen. The only reason it can't happen is Joel Embiid, doesn't give me 28 and 10 boards a game average, and then if Simmons could shoot, we knock Lonzo Ball, but Lonzo Ball might catch heat and start hitting some threes, which he did against, I think it was the Rockets. No, was it the Rockets? I'm forgetting. But if Simmons could just hit some of those shots, I really don't see why it can't be the Lakers and the Sixers in the finals. We don't have really anybody to go through. I understand we've been taking some L's to Miami, but I think we beat them in 4 games. But go watch NBA on TNT. I always watch it. And they have a podcast, Ernie and Charles Barkley. The podcast is amazing. Definitely go check it out. I don't know where to watch or hear that. I remember hearing the first episode. I think they have 3 episodes out. If you'd rather enjoy that, because I think Charles Barkley, it's not even just Charles. What Kenny brings to the table, and Shaq and Charles and Ernie, is really, really something special on TV, and it's not nearly as celebrated as it continuously should be to the mainstream media. You can count on 1 or 2 hands maybe the shows that have been on TV for 30 years. So I really wanted to give a shout out for this, because this is something that it is really special when you look at it in terms of media. So I think we're going to move on to the final topic, and it'll just kind of be talking about the channel, some ideas, some plans, some things I'm doing, and then we'll wrap up this episode of the talk show. Everything's permitted. All right, so I know I was going to end by talking about, the channel and things I got planned and stuff, but that didn't really go the way I thought. Instead, shout out to UTF.nj. It's kind of like a collective for some underground music. I'm going to start branching out and trying different things and trying to get better at the things I do and going into 2020. And I suggest for people out there, if you know somebody or you are that person who needs help, ask for that help coming into the new decade. You'd be surprised what people can make and do. And I do have like a crew. Now, it's not necessarily everyone in UTF. However, if your friend is a dancer, and let's say you have a way to help promote their thing, just do it. It's not hard to be nice. I understand that it could be out of your sphere, and I really want to open it up the end of the stream or the talk show today, episode 11, with just trying new things. So here's a little clip I edited for UTF. It's not by any means the finished product. It's Zoloft Zombie. Might see it on the page, might not. I might do some more edits, but this is the kind of stuff. Also, open invitation to my crew as well to send footage of things. If you want me to edit them and just edit, I'll host it, send it to you. You post it wherever. It always helps to get another opinion, and that's kind of what I want to do eventually. Is definitely have more dialogue with other people. It gets quite lonely talking to yourself, but enjoy this little clip. I'm gonna catch you guys in 2020, and have a good year. Careful tonight, and I'm the GrownKiD. It's been an interesting past 7 months on YouTube. I've definitely did some work prior in this decade, but nothing as much as the growth that I've got to have like the past 7 months. So let's keep the train going. We're streaming Dandara, but in the meantime, if you like some music, here you go.
Emotions now. I smoke that dope, so I ain't hopeless now. I am the walking dead, yet I still go somehow. I've been dressed up all black hood. I'm not good, but you guess that like you should. Went from crawling was apocalypse with no regard. When I burn my lips, I might just go too far.